Okay. We apologize for being a little off key, a little late. Had some technical issues I was trying to work out with ECAM, the class I took, so please forgive us. And on the outset, people, we thank you for subscribing to us and thank you for making our channel what it is. We look
Yes.
for more for greater growth. And if you subscribe to our channels, we will subscribe to yours. If I check your channel and you haven't made a video since the year 2000, just playing, but I don't see any content, it's hard for me to in turn support you. But we still thank you for supporting us.
Yes, we
So
do.
getting started.
Yes, and thank you. I'm saying thank you personally also. I didn't think that that many people would like our gardening, and I'm a little bit shocked because we're on the other side of the fence. We're the seniors and we're doing things, but we're going to continue to bring you content as much as you like, and because this is what we do. And by the way, a little bit of history before we start. We're not newbies.
No, not at all.
Sweet Papa grew up on a farm.
I did.
Yeah.
Patasklo, Ohio.
Yes, he did. He grew up, and I knew that. I didn't know that before I met him. And myself, I'm a native of Las Vegas, but I grew up on a farm. My mother was the first herbalist that I met, so she taught me and my six siblings, and we had a farm stands right here, believe it or not, in Las Vegas, Nevada, with the whole thing, the yard, acres, a couple of acres. We had fruit trees, we had chickens, guinea fowls, banty roosters, we had we even slaughtered hogs. They were not here, but they were in the outer portion of the town that we had them kept at. But we went through making from chitlins and all. We did it, and we firewood, you name it. So we're just going back to our roots. Our ancestry started in Africa, but we continued it. They were from the South. They brought it here.
Right.
My husband, the same way. We celebrate history of ourselves, not just the 29 days of the month, but every year. And we got a chance to go to South Africa. But this has been our love. This is our passion. I am a herbalist. I've been an herbalist for 35 years. My husband has been in photography and this line of work for many years in science and things. But as we're now getting to a season of retiring, we can do this more. And we have our we call it our back to Eden garden for a reason, because it's when we get here, we're like, we're back.
Oh, yes.
It's our back to Eden garden. Anyone
Yep.
can have a back to Eden garden because that's where we all came from, is from the garden. If you look in the book of Genesis,
That's right.
creation.
That's right.
Yeah, so we're not newbies at this, and we're not taking this and coining this phrase for ourselves. This is biblical. If you're a believer, and we are,
We are.
and we know that we follow that. So everything we do is easy and light. We didn't say it's perfect. Nothing is perfect. We don't claim to be that we're quote unquote scholars of all, but we do this every day and we love it. This is our life, and we want you to join us and continue on our journey. But today, we are talking about overwintering sweet potato slips.
Yes.
And there's a free bonus because we even get to see flowers.
Yes, we do.
Yes, yes.
They smell so lovely.
They do, So we were in the garden
They
today.
smell like me.
Do you smell that
You smell good, baby.
good? Yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah, but these are the flowers. I'm
I'm
not
sorted
sure.
out.
Yeah, he's sorted out. I'm not sure we're going to keep all of these leaves on here, but this is the first batch that I have, and we're making slips, and there's a few steps to making slips, and we're going to talk about those few steps that we took. We overwinter that all of our beds that's covered in plastic, so the first thing is going out there and seeing what kind of goodies we have to salvage and forage from. And it's been a wonderful, true blessing. We go through daily and see what we can do with what we already have. And we have so much in abundance. So we've been doing that and going out there. My husband did tree pruning and grafting last week.
I did.
Yeah, grafting. And that was beautiful to see. And believe it or not, we have trees budding, right?
We do.
We have trees already budding out, so it's amazing. We're going to see how the grafts go. But we had so much, and we're like saying it's time, just we got to rush because we only have like what 3 weeks
3 weeks.
before spring. Not
Yeah.
that you have to stop, but we want to try to be ahead of it. So I'll show you. I guess he's going to show you the clip now, or do you want
Yeah.
me to stop and
No,
roll it?
I'll show them a clip.
Okay, he's going to show you the clip, and then we'll talk a little bit later
Okay.
because she's going to talk.
Yeah, she's going to talk.
Okay,
Did I take your line?
never mind.
I took your line. Oh, sorry about that. The tents because
Yeah,
of the
the
wind?
plastic, yeah. I'm
Right.
saying if those tents, we didn't have those tents, we wouldn't have anything right now.
We wouldn't.
Because they're about what, 35?
Uh,
Last night they were just ridiculous, probably higher than that, about 55, you think?
right. I
Yeah.
think so.
The winds were really just swinging.
Like they are
We've had
now.
gardens before without the tents at this time of the year, and we had total disasters. Total. It was like we had to start all over again, which is fine because once again, it's a learning curve, right?
Right.
You never know what to expect. So when you get something, you say, I can do a little bit better. And we go from there.
All right. Let's run this clip.
Today we're in our high tunnel, and it's really a low tunnel, but it's our covering, and it's our overwintered garden. So today we're going to be doing some sweet potato slips and replanting these or transplanting them to water for a few weeks so they can get some roots. And I'm excited. I got my little repotting mat out here, and I'm cleaning my little shears. It's a simple steps. It's going to be using water, some clean little cutters, and clipping away. And it's a 1, 2, 3 step basically. And you're going to cut these and trim them, and then you're going to put them in water, warm water, and you're going to be having your next plant's crop. Now you're not going to leave, well, this one is really not a great one, but I'm going to take it anyway. I'm taking off anything that I don't need. I need a leaf, and I need at least 3 inches of stem. You know, these beautiful flowers, this is a rarity, but when you overwinter, this is what you get. Isn't that beautiful? And then you'll actually have sweet potato seeds. Yes, believe it or not, they're seeds too. I've never grown from a seed, so I'm going to preserve a few of these and let them go a little further to make sure I get the actual seed in it. And that's why it's really good to have some experimental time, to have a garden that you go from the beginning to end so you can see exactly. I can tell you a lot of things, but if you don't actually do it and go through it, you know, you'll never get the joy of going through a full cycle of plants and how they reproduce, how they come back. Now, we didn't do anything with this. We just left these vines in here, and we decided to let them be overwintered with a lot of our other plants. We're taking seeds, we're taking transplants. We're doing a lot with this tunnel cover until the winds are over with, and we've gotten everything we need to do transplants. We're going to leave it up. My husband's doing some grafting with the trees, and I think he got all of that finished. And I have this beautiful little mat out here that my daughter got for me for Christmas, and it's beautiful. It works well. And while I'm doing my trimming and planting, that's what I'm using. Now this is going to be wonderful. And the stems, you're going to leave about 3 inches on. You're going to place this in warm water. You want the water to be warm so they'll germinate and start to root. It should take about 3 weeks. I always sanitize my tools. I keep a little spray bottle with alcohol in it to make sure they're nice and clean. And even the leaves, they might have a little cooties on it or a few little aphids or something. Make sure you clean them off, because if you're going to leave them indoors, you don't want to bring the insects inside. So these are the steps, 1, 2, and 3. Have your tools, your warm water, your shears, and cut all the leaves except for a couple and leave 3 inches of stem. Now we're going to talk about this more in detail when we go inside, but I wanted to show you what this greenhouse looks like and what these cuttings look like. I'm going to make a lot more. And I'll probably have them all done by this week. And then about 3 weeks from now, we'll be transplanting them out into garden beds or your pots, whatever you choose to use. It's worth it. And you know what? Getting your own and having your own from your own, you know what you're getting in your plants and the quality of it. And that's what I love about taking my own seeds, my own transplants. But join us later as we talk. We'll talk soon. Be sure to like and subscribe. Take care. We spend tons of money at the nursery, and you could really do this. A
Right.
lot of at least 60 to 70% of your own, reproduction
All
and
right.
getting things going.
What would you say about the getting hit?
Oh, the guinea hen, see, there's seeds. You're showing one right there. You
okay.
just passed it. So there's little seeds on that, but that's another show that we'll talk about that in detail because there's so much information I want to give you about that, even the medical properties in that. But right now, we're trying to get the things that flower, and that's going to take a longer time to bloom. Even though we eat the sweet potato leaves,
Right.
I use those for juicing and cook those down in my soups and stews. They're wonderful. You can saute them. You can put them in your salads. So this is a staple for us. It's not so much as just getting the yams. We have not had a huge crop because we've never planted a lot of them.
All right.
When it comes to the sweet potatoes, we've gotten 3 or 4 in each one, and that's okay for us. We're a small family. It's only the 2 of us, but at the same time, I
Just
love.
the two of us. We can make it if you try.
That's why it's called Sweet Home. That's why I said we truly, love to take advantage of everything. So for me, in the summer, there's not a lot of plants that can take the hot sun and that resilient sun. But guess what? Sweet potatoes can.
Sweet potatoes.
Believe it or not, the vines are so resilient. You can, in Las Vegas sun, they do fine in the full sun. I'm not worried about them wilting. When so many things will wilt and just collapse when that July sun hits, those sweet potatoes will look like it didn't bother me. And they just keep, don't mind me, I'm doing something else. And I love that, don't mind me, because then that means I get a chance to take those sweet little leaves and give our family the nutrients that we need by doing a lot of hyper-nourishment through juices and things like to supplement our vitamins and nutrients that we need. And the vitamins are just unbelievable. So, and again, they taste really good. You can put them in salads. They don't have a bitter taste to them. They taste nice and sweet. And you can, like I said, either eat them raw or, saute them or throw them in soups and anything like that. So, yeah, I haven't tried any baked dishes yet, but I'll probably be discovering more with that. And so those simple steps that we were talking about, did you want to look at any more? Or do you want me to?
You can go ahead. I'm going to put us back on the main camera.
Yeah, so the simple steps that takes this garden magic of clipping these sweet potato vines is simple. It's 3 things. You're going to go out and you're going to shear them, take them off. You're going to leave a few leaves on, and then you're going to cut all of the surrounding leaves off and making sure that stem is at least 2 to 3 inches long. And the water should be warm because it germinates much quicker. So the rubbing alcohol is for germs. You don't want to try to cross-contaminate. That's with any plant when you're doing that. The water being in the jar, like I said, that's going to help you. And you can put these plants in your house, or if you have a greenhouse, or like even a place in an enclosure tent of this nature, you can do that. Even in the springtime, I've just transplanted them right in the ground with no roots on them. And believe it or not, they came up with no roots. But since we have the time, I can do it the proper way and actually put them in water, see the roots, see the results, so they won't have to work as long and hard. But we want to have, like I said, a lot of these, so we plan on probably planting at least 20.
Right.
Yeah, at least we're going to do, and pinching those leaves off is very, like I said, very important. You do need to replace your water every few days because you don't want water that's getting all moldy and you want to perk it up again. So make sure you rinse that murky water off and get new fresh water and make sure it's still warm. That would be good. I like to just have bottled water waiting and do a nice rinse with my water under the sink and then put my bottled water on again because I know that it doesn't have any other contaminants until they get strong enough. And again, if you're going to wash those off, make sure you wash off the little aphids and white flies or whatever, because they love a nice breeding ground in your home. It's the right temperature, so then all of a sudden now your house plants are going to be attacked. And a simple solution you can use for me, if I don't want to use my outdoor sprays, is hydrogen peroxide. Rinse them off on hydrogen peroxide, the whole plant, and now you've disinfected the plant, the roots, and you started with a sterile beginning, and your jar too. So you can start off without worrying about the little flies and white insects and things that you don't want. And because once we get busy, that's always the problem. You're
Right.
saying, don't you think so,
I do.
Vanessa? My
Yeah.
husband sometimes gets upset if we have too many plants and we're looking around and then all of a sudden we're over inundated with fruit flies or some other kind of net. And you're like, now I got this problem to deal with. So I'm going to say always take the time to sanitize your soil,
Right.
sanitize your soil,
Right.
and sanitize all your stuff. Yes, out there is a jungle, and of course, we're going to break it down, and we'll be putting some things in the soil that's natural to start over again. But right now,
Of course.
we're foraging and harvesting things that we want, and then the things that we don't need. Anything he's putting in the ground, and he has that covered with the jadam. It's going to take care of all of that, and we'll have proper ventilation because the covers come off.
Right.
So that's going to be a whole new situation. And, then everything that survived, like the aloes, the nasturtiums, they'll be fine. And he wanted to do something on those onions too. He was talking about the onions, but we'll talk
Yes.
about that because he really wants big onions.
I do. And
But
big garlic.
yeah, big garlic. Yeah, and we planted our garlic late this year,
We did.
but we do have it planted, and you should plant it if you're still in zone 9. Are we 9A or B? I always forget.
9A and B.
And B. You can still plant the garlic, and even if you don't get the bottoms, you want the tops because that is a good pest resistant for any type of little rodents and things that want to come and nibble off your greens. You should be interplanting those also. So I'm going to be planting garlic in every bed right now because also you can eat from the tops and you can cut them back and they'll continue to grow just like you do your garlic greens. And they really do deter a lot of insects. So you want to keep that going. This by the time that these slips are done, we're in the first week of March. We will probably be right in April. It'll be perfect time to set them out in the garden beds or
Right.
pots. Sweet potato slips do well in pots as well. We grew ours in pots and we did get sweet potatoes from that too. You won't get them a lot, but you will have the greens and you will have some nice sweet potatoes if you want. And you can cut them and you can take more slips from there if you want to and make more. But if you really want a good harvest, this is the time you want to put your sweet potato slips in now so you don't have to worry and have a nice harvest. Is there anything you want to add to that?
No, I think you've been very informative, giving us a lot of valuable information.
Yeah, our favorite time is right now because, this is the busy time. And even though it may not be perfect weather, it's like you get to sneak in and do all of this wonderful stuff and, just make lots of plants, make things that you know that you're going to love and is your favorite. And that's what I would say. If it's something that you have as a favorite, get out there and get busy.
Right.
Get it in the ground. And, if you fail, so what? It's your life. You know what? Just redo it again. And there's no such thing as perfection. I hear a lot of people, and sometimes it will scare away new gardeners and saying, they said don't do it that way.
Right, right,
I mean,
right.
and it's intimidating. And it's a lot of people that have that kind of, and they can command that kind of audience because they have big YouTube pages. We don't have that big of a YouTube page, but we are definitely experienced, not just because of our age,
Right.
but we've been doing this and
For a while.
we've watched our parents. He watched his grandmother, and I watched my mother and father all the way through. And the 6 siblings that I have are older than me, and they garden as well. It's basic knowledge, and you add to that, and you continue to add. But it's like riding a bike; you never forget. You change up a few things because of the conditions and seasons, but more than that, we keep it right with organic gardening, and also we know that this is what we were meant to do. Our Back to Eden garden brings us closest to our Creator and everything He's created. So this is a lifetime venture for us. It's an adventure, but it is a venture too.
Definitely adventure.
It is a venture every day. We enjoy it, and we want to keep growing, and we hope that you grow with us.
You want to give him a treat with Harlow?
Oh, we have a bonus that we want to add in here. I have my grandchildren, and we have our grandchildren a few days out of the week, which we love as a pleasure, and it's always teaching. Being in the background, I own the preschool for 36 years plus, being the first teachers for my grandchildren too. When we get them, and they're learning everything about gardening as well, and being herbalists and all of the other things in life, and they love it. It's like a duck to water. They just take to it. So we had a little clip of our youngest little granddaughter out here, and she's doing some things in the garden, and this is her favorite place too. She can't wait to get over here when she does to get busy doing her garden work, and she loves eating this stuff too. That's the amazing portion of it. Don't need to be, matter of fact, any seeds that deep in the ground. Just a little bit of dirt around them and on top.
Quarter of an inch.
Yeah. Hold on. Well, oh, good job.
Children,
Look at that pitch. She's gonna
that they can thrive in.
hold it. Only takes just a little bit of full on top to get that seed germinated after she spread it. So
She really enjoys having a good time doing this.
So Harlow and Journey, Jackson, Zion, they have their own patches of garden. Now they have a strawberry patch.
Right.
They have certain things that they like. And she talks about her favorite foods that she loves in the garden. Teachers in my lifetime. One thing that works with children better than anything is nature, the way Yahweh intended it. Putting them in nature, they learn faster. They're not sick as easy. They get used to and they adapt to problem solving in life because they're grounding themselves. We always think of grounding just being in the grass, but it's being in the fresh air, smelling the soil. We are organic. And when we teach our kids, computers and technology are just wonderful. I don't knock it, but at the same time,
And I think this is enough.
you think it's enough?
Yeah.
I do too. I just think you need to do a little bit more down on that end where Papa is. I think they need the opportunity to be able to explore like this. You know, we used
Okay,
to,
that's good enough.
fantastic. We used to make mud cakes. Do you remember making mud cakes, Papa?
I do.
Mud cakes with your sisters or friends and making things out of nothing because you were out there all day long?
Yep.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Now you have planted, you did a perfect garden. Congratulations, Harlow.
Now we're just gonna.
Yeah, Papa just needs to water it and
Now we're just gonna just try to dig
yeah,
it,
that's so.
the soil
Mm-hmm.
in.
That's nice. Very nice. We got one garden bed in, and then I'm about to plant another. I can't say what's on these seeds. It's a secret sauce. I'm gonna come back and talk about it
Very
later. Secret sauce and spaghetti seeds. Don't forget that. I'm not going to tell you until you see the experiment being over with, but these are organic seeds that we had, spaghetti squash. I stuffed them. They were so delicious. My husband loved it with mushrooms and all kinds of things, all vegan. And I took the seeds before, I cooked them and scraped them and scooped them out. And I had 15 of them, and I marinated them for 10 minutes before I'm going to put them in the ground. But this is my experience, and I will tell you about it after the experiment is over, but stay tuned. If you like what you saw today, please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and come back. We enjoy you, and I hope you enjoy us. Take care. I'm just sprinkling it, because you know
Can
what?
I try?
Yeah, you can do this. You're just covering now the seeds just with a little dirt on top. We don't need a lot, because these seeds don't need to be deep in the ground. That was awesome. I think he has more. You're trying to show more or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, he's going to show her watering her garden bed. She insisted that she planted it, so she was going to be the one to water it, not Papa.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it again.
And she's 5 years old, by the way. Just turned 5.
Mm-hmm.
Here. Here and there. Okay.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it brings us a lot of pleasure, and that's where we get our gratification from, seeing
Our grandkids.
our grandchildren, and passing down all of our DNA as organic as possible to the next generation, knowing how to calm themselves, take them out of stressful situations in a stressful world, and put them in a situation where they can be self-reliant and resilient and learn something new, as well as to have good habits. They're busy correcting people to tell you that you need to eat fresh food.
Right.
And her favorites are green onions and purslane. What's good about a purslane? Oh, the omegas. It's so much knowledge. And you say little people can do that. Little people, yes, they can. There's a favorite scripture that I had on my preschool for the whole time that I was given this business by my Heavenly Father. And I knew that if He allowed me to raise my own children, and I asked, and at that time I was a single, divorced mother, and I said, if you allow me to raise my children, I'll raise them up in the admonition of you. And I did. And that scripture was Proverbs 22 and 6.
Right.
And it was on my door for the whole time I owned the building. And we just sold it this year. Well, this past March. It'll be Yeah, it's not even a year yet. But
About
yeah,
so March.
it was March 27th.
This is March.
Yes, the 27th of this month. Train up the child in the way that they should go. They should. So we always get it wrong. We want to, and Moses wasn't grown until he was
Age 40.
right. You know, we're in a rush. We like, you're grown at 18, but train up the child in the way that they should go. And when they are old,
It will not
they
depart.
will not depart from it. I went from being Kids Are Smart to God Send Learning Center, um, Organic Care Creations, I have New Covenant in Christ. All of the things that I went through in my episode and journey, as well as meeting my husband to be in the future, was all laid out before me.
We met
Because
on Match.com.
and we didn't meet. My daughter introduced me to Match.com and put me on there because she was leaving the state.
And I sought her out.
And so the story went, he met me on Match.com, and she had put me on there for a 30-day trial because she wanted me to meet someone because she was no longer going to be at the center and present with me, and she was moving to Atlanta. And she says, Mom, at least you need a friend. And so I told him I only had a 30-day trial when he responded to me and said something, and I only wanted a friend. And at that time, I thought he was 5 feet, and that was it. So, and I knew he was in a power chair.
Nothing against short people.
Yeah, he was in a power chair. So, I basically had deemed him harmless, but we were friends for almost 5 months on the internet, just talking. And he needed help because he's a veteran, and he was very, very ill. And, I'm a caretaker.
See,
I've always taken care of people, children, family, and that's been my life work, and that's who I am. I have no problem with that. And so I was giving him advice, and finally I went to see him. But yes, how we met. But everything I do is divine. I don't rack up anything to attribute that I'm so special, but it's who resides in my heart and in my mind.
Joshua,
Yes,
who is the Holy Spirit.
right. And so the careers that we've had, they've been wonderful. But most of all, my greatest gift would be the life he's given me with my children and my husband. And that continues through everything we do. So our Back to Eden garden is everything.
And which is our prototype for the Eden in Africa.
Yes.
So the cradle of civilization.
Yes.
Yep. So
Yes.
and 17 years forward, here we are.
And we have another channel, and we don't talk about it enough, Genesis to Revelations. And then-
G2
Yeah, G2RE, and my husband will have that in the links below too. Please be sure to go and like and subscribe to that channel, because that one shows you our journeys of where we've been traveling to, where we're going, as well as going back to Africa, because we will be going back to the continent again. And yes, we are looking for places there as well. But we will love to just include you on the journey and share our adventures with you. So I won't take up any more time of your time today, but we will be back hopefully, and you'll see us next week.
Yeah, you will.
Yes, in the meantime, take great care. And remember, no mission is impossible.
Not impossible at all.
Not at all.
With Yahshua Messiah.
That's right. Take care until the next time.
See ya. Music is called Serengeti.